week? Well, yes, it does. Why? Because we have Mexico against Puerto Rico. You think of the lineage that we've had in this epic rivalry. We've had the likes of Wilfredo Gomez against Salvador Sanchez, Julio Cesar Chavez against Hector Macho Camacho. Just under 9 years ago, Canelo Alvarez fought the great Miguel Cotto. And on Saturday night, PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video, that tradition and that rivalry is furthered as we turn another chapter. Let's meet a man who is undefeated, 22 fights, 22 wins, 17 of those coming by way of knockout, from Brooklyn, New York, proudly representing his heritage of Puerto Rico, currently ranked the #1 ranked super middleweight according to the WBA. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Edgar, the Chosen One of Berlanga.
I would like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, once again for this opportunity. You know, this is an opportunity of a lifetime for us, for Team Berlanga. We want to thank Team Canelo once again for the opportunity. It's going to be a fight this weekend, man. You know, I got a lot of doubters out there, people that don't believe in me, you know, but Saturday night we're going to make them believers. You know, it's going to be a big night. You know, you got Puerto Rico versus Mexico. You know, you got me and Canelo. You know, Puerto Rican superstar and a Mexican superstar. So we're going at it this weekend. It's going to be a fight. Like I said, man, all glory to God. Jesus is King. And thank you, guys. I love y'all, man. See y'all Saturday.
Thank you very much to Edgar Berlanga. And now I bring a man up to the stage that has done this many, many times over again. His record, 61 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the reigning and defending WBC, WBA, and WBO super middleweight champion of the world desde Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. Presentando Saúl Canelo Alvarez.
Thank you so much. I don't have much to say. I just want to thank everybody for coming and support boxing, support me. Thank you to my team, Canelo team, all of them. Eddie Reynoso, Chepo Reynoso, being with me my whole life. And Al Jaimon, Luis de Cubas, thank you. Tom, thank you for everything. Eddie Hearns, thank you for making this happen too. And I just can't wait to Saturday. So thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Saúl Canelo Alvarez. Now I'm going to talk with both men as they get ready for their epic matchup on Saturday. Canelo, you could have fought anybody. I mean, obviously it is well documented, the Canelo sweepstakes, but you decided on Edgar Berlanga, who is undefeated, 22-0, 17 knockouts. How did you decide to settle on having a guy in Edgar Berlanga that you will collide against during Mexican Independence Day fight weekend?
You know, I fought everybody already. So I was in vacation and Eddie called me. They was working in the fight, and I said, you know, whatever, I don't care. I fought everybody. So, and I think it's a very good fight for the people. You know? Mexico versus Puerto Rico. It's a lot of history there, and I think it's a great match.
Now, for you, Edgar, when you got the call and they said, Canelo, you know, you have an opportunity to fight Canelo, how long did it take you to say yes to that, regardless of the financial upside to it?
You know, it was a lot of going back and forth in the beginning. You know, obviously because of the numbers and everything, got to make sense. But I came out here in May for when Munguia when Canelo fought Munguia, and the fans was going crazy. You know, they was like, "We want you next for September. We want you next." You know, the Mexican fans was going crazy, right? And then I got to a press conference in New York where Ryder. And, you know, Louis was there, and I said, yo, man, we got to make the fight happen in September. You know, he reached out to Eddie. Eddie showed love and stuff, and, you know, I sent my love back, and then, you know, we started just working from there. You know, after his victory with Munguia, we just started pushing the issue for the fight, and we got it. All glory to God.
What's it like being here? Because Canelo has done this many times over again. This is a huge step up for you, main eventing here in Las Vegas. For every prize fighter that puts on a pair of gloves, their dream is to be here in Las Vegas. As you drive up and down the strip and you see your name on the marquee, Canelo Burlingame, what does that mean to you?
It means everything to me. You know, it's been written already. You know, like I said, right, I'm not supposed to be here. You know, everybody that's in front of me is all against me, you know. And you got some believers that's out there that's believing me, you know, but because of my accolades and, you know, who I fought, you know, this guy fought legends, you get what I'm saying? So it's bound to happen, you know, it's people's opinion. You know, it's bound to happen that people's going to say I'm going to get knocked out. People's going to say, you know, I'm not going to go the whole 12 rounds, you know, because of my career and who I fought. But, you know, it was God's plan, man, you know, for this to happen. You know, seeing my name right now, man, it's a blessing. You know, like I said, man, I want to thank PBC, Matchroom. I want to thank Eddie Hearns, my team, man. This is unbelievable right here.
Canelo, your first time fighting during Mexican Independence Day fight weekend, you got to go back to September of 2012 when you fought Josecito Lopez here nearby at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. You have fought and headlined on Mexican Independence Day fight weekend at least 5 times. How much does that mean to you? Because you are a very proud Mexican. You're an icon to Mexican fight fans around the world. How much does it mean for you to be main eventing and to be competing and displaying your talents during Mexican Independence Day weekend?
No, for me it's an honor fighting in those days. Mexican independence is very important for us, for Mexico, and I feel proud about representing my country, and I feel very special, and I feel proud, and it's an honor for me.
You fought Miguel Cotto, the great Miguel Cotto, back in November of 2015. So you have been fully entrenched, as your team talked about, of being involved in this rivalry. When you take on someone from Puerto Rico, is there any extra added motivation, any extra added juice because of the rich boxing rivalry between the two countries?
No, I always take my fights seriously, and I always train 100%, like in every fight, no matter who is in there. So I always have the same mentality, and this is no deception. I come in with the same mentality. I did a really good training camp, and we are ready.
Edgar, you have stated that you are predicting a 6th round knockout over Canelo Alvarez. Canelo has never been knocked out in his career. Why are you so confident coming into this matchup that you are going to end him not only in the fight abruptly, but in the first half of the fight?
You know, as boxers, right? You know, I'm a knockout artist, right? So every fighter wants a knockout. You know, who don't want a knockout? Everybody wants to knock somebody out, right? But you know, we know that he's a legend, and we know that we can't go in there and just trying to swing for the fence on him. You know what I'm saying? He got great IQ. He's intelligent. So we got to do it the right way. You know, 6-round knockout, yeah, that's what we're going for. You know, and if it comes, it comes. But if we got to go the whole 12, then we're doing that as well. You know, so we ready for everything that's around the board for this fight, for real.
Canelo, what are your thoughts when he says he's going to knock you out in the 6th round? You've heard predictions from guys before, but this one, 6 rounds or less, he's going to knock you out. Prepare to go 12 rounds, as he proclaims. But what is your response when he says he's going to knock you out in 6 rounds?
Like I always say, it's easy to say, but to do it is very difficult. And Saturday night is going to be very difficult for him, that's for sure.
You have said that you're going to knock him out in the 8th round. Why so?
I prepare myself for that, and winning by knockout is always feel really good. So I'm going to do my best to do it.
Edgar, what are your thoughts when he says he's going to knock you out in the 8th round?
I mean, you know, like I said before, right? Every fighter wants a knockout. You know, you got 2 guys that's coming to fight, man, and 2 guys that got cannons in them hands. So, you know, for me, it's like who's gonna land first? You know, who's gonna be the smarter man? Who's gonna have the better IQ? Who's gonna be intelligent in that ring? You know, everybody wants to knock out, right? Especially the guys that punch. Guys that punch want to knock somebody out. All my fights, I want to catch a knockout. I want to knock somebody out. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's gonna be a big fight. You know, this Saturday, man. It's gonna be something amazing. You know, right now it's real calm. you know, because it's the calm before the storm. You know what I'm saying? The fight is already sold. You know, we're gonna do over 1 million pay-per-view buys. You know, and we're gonna make the bag and make history, man. You know what I'm saying? And become a legend that day.
Is this the kind of fight that cements your status as being the next big Puerto Rican superstar? Because I feel like from a Puerto Rican standpoint that there is a void there, and this sort of cements your status. If you get your hand raised against the great Canelo Alvarez, that it stamps your legacy as to say, I am the next big Puerto Rican boxing superstar.
Oh, 1,000%. You know, right now Puerto Rico don't have a face. You know, and I feel like after this weekend, you know, I could be the face of Puerto Rico, representing the island. You know, they've been wanting that for so many years. You know, Cotto was the last guy to do it, and you know, now it's my turn to do it. You know, this weekend.
Canelo, what kind of statement are you looking to make against Edgar Berlanga on Saturday night from T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas? What kind of statement are you looking to make?
¿Qué tipo de mensaje está tratando de mandar en esta pelea?
No, you know, just show everybody I'm still the best.
When it comes to training and preparation, because you've been doing this for nearly 20 years, do you still love going to the gym and embracing it and really sort of diving into a new challenger, especially someone who's undefeated like Edgar Berlanga?
I love it. I love it. When I stop loving, I'm gonna tell you. You're gonna know. I still loving going to the gym, and my training camp, my routine, all of this. So I enjoy boxing a lot.
The fans obviously love you. You are just beloved. As we had the grand arrivals yesterday, there will be a lot of people out for the weigh-in on a Friday outside of Toshiba Plaza here in Las Vegas, outside of T-Mobile Arena. But how much does the admiration and the love from the fans mean to you?
No, it means a lot. It means a lot, and I appreciate it a lot, and I'm grateful because, you know, they always support me no matter what, and thank you to everybody for always being there for me. And the only thing I wanted to show them is a really good win Saturday night.
Do you believe that, you know, he is sort of, you know, you mentioned about your ring IQ, that because of the styles you've been in, the legends that you fought, that your ring IQ is going to be that much better than his because he, you know, he is 22-0, 17 knockouts, hard-hitting power puncher, but you have, as his trainer mentioned, 25 world championship fights under your belt.
You know, I never overlooking any fighter. I know he's young, he's a good fighter, he's strong. But I've been in there with everybody. So I have so much experience. I'm strong. I have a lot of talent, and I'm just the best.
In the list of guys that you fought, Canelo, where does he rank among the guys that you've competed against? Or do you want to say that after you compete with him?
Yeah, after Saturday, I can tell you.
Edgar, for you, in terms of being involved in this moment, you talked about, both you and your team mentioned about how you're the underdogs coming into this fight, that the media is writing you off, that they're saying you're not going to go the distance. Is that bulletin board material, does that give you any extra added motivation, or does it not matter because of the fact that you can change your life if you're able to defeat the great Canelo Alvarez?
Oh, 1,000%, man. You know, just everybody out there that's been doubting me, you know, that's all motivation for us. You know, on social media, you know, the people out there that just, you know, talking bad about me and saying all this stuff, man, it's just about proving them wrong. You know, I've been in this position, you know what I'm saying, and I've been saying this over and over. You know, I've been at the bottom of the bottom, man, you know what I'm saying? We in New York, you know, the concrete jungle, man, is not easy coming from New York, you know. So I've been in a position where I could have, you know, 1,001, you get what I'm saying? And I'm cool with it, man. It's more fuel for me. It's more fire in my blood and my veins, you know, to go out there and perform and be great, man. You know, that's the whole point of boxing, right? You know, it's to go out there and make big fights happen at this magnitude. This is the top of the mountain. This don't get any bigger. You get what I'm saying? So now it's just about me becoming great that night, you know, and putting my last name in the history books forever, you know, and putting Puerto Rico on the map and putting all of the Latin community out there, you know. That's my goal, man. You know, this is all fuel for me. There's all fire in my blood, in my vein, you know, through the Holy Spirit, man. You know, we gonna shine Saturday night.
All right, Edgar, we wish you all the best of luck. Edgar Berlanga.
And I want to say something, too. Fuck Oscar De La Hoya, too. He's always, that motherfucker, He keep talking and talking. We're gonna smack him when we see him. You gotta stop. He gotta stop. He's trying to fuck up the event.
All right, Edgar Berlanga, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the unbeaten from Brooklyn, proudly representing Puerto Rico. Now, Canelo Alvarez, the floor is yours. What's one final message you want to give to the fans, and also Edgar Berlanga ahead of your showdown from T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas?
No, espero que todos estén ahí apoyándome como siempre. Agradecido con cada uno de los mexicanos, de mis fans que siempre están apoyándome. Espero que disfruten de una gran pelea el sábado, de un gran triunfo y que todos gritemos ¡Viva México, cabrones! ¡Ánimo! Gracias.
¡Viva Puerto Rico, puñeta!
I hope that everyone comes out and supports me just like they always do. I'm sending all my love to Mexico, and I hope that by the end of this fight, we can all yell out Viva México, cabrones, like we always do.
All right, a round of applause to Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga, the final press conference Saturday night from T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas. PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video. Canelo defending his WBC, WBA, and WBO super middleweight championships of the world against the unbeaten from Brooklyn, representing Puerto Rico, Edgar Berlanga. The undercard workouts come your way 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 local time on the PBC YouTube page. Now we will pose the fighters and their teams off. Canelo and Berlanga Mexican Independence Day weekend continues here in Las Vegas.
Are you getting ready for the interviews? Yeah. So, yes, I can. What? For the one? No, we're only on the scrum, right? Yeah, for the scrum. Yeah, we're gonna let the reporters know that they have to come back first, let the face-off, and then, look, you see Sam over there and Andrew? They're gonna direct the press to come over to the stage. So just give it. No, but Andrew told me to do that. Oh, I am? Okay. So I'm gonna be in the press area.
We've heard from the combatants in Saturday's super middleweight title showdown. 3 more days until Canelo versus Berlanga, Saturday on PBC on Prime pay-per-view. My name is Brian Campbell. So happy to be with you here as we wrap up the festivities at today's final press conference, the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. And a reminder to boxing fans, you know the big fight is here Saturday night, and for the big fight, we have teamed up with DraftKings to give new customers a can't-miss offer. Right now, all new customers who bet $5 will instantly get $250 in bonus bets. Stay in on the action and use your $250 in bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays. Parlay the winning fighter with how you think they'll win for a sweet payout. Do you think Canelo keeps the streak alive, or does the unbeaten Edgar Berlanga shock the world in this Mexico versus Puerto Rico matchups? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use our promo code FIGHTS, that's FIGHTS, and bet $5 on any wager and get that $250 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code FIGHTS only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Remember, the crown is yours. As mentioned, Brian Campbell back with you here with a double shot of Dre's and a little PBC boxing royalty. How about the 2-time welterweight champion Andre Berto and 2004 American Olympic medalist and one of the top super middleweights of the past 2 decades. Yeah, Andre Durrell in the house as well.
Yes,
Fellas,
sir.
I'm fired up to be here. This is a big one.
It's gonna
I
be
know
amazing.
you feel that energy.
Yes,
Andre
sir.
Berto, you saw these two face off. Maybe
Yeah.
not as contentious as the kickoff press conference, but what'd you learn from these two?
Because
today?
it's go time now. You know, all the talking is over. So you see both of the guys, they've been through their training camps. They did all the talking. It's nothing else to do now. It's just now to go in there and compete and just show what you're all about. All the talking is over now. Now it's time to go.
How do you feel about that, Andre?
Man, I'm loving the action, right? Berlanga is definitely ready. However, I am concerned, right? Canelo, we see how he's handling himself like a true professional, right? Like he has nothing too much to worry about. However, on the other side with Berlanga, you know, I'm worried a little bit, and not for the reason you may think, right? I'm worried because he's focusing on the wrong things. Like, of course he's focused on Canelo, right? But I believe he's also focused on, again, speaking on Oscar De La Hoya or worrying about his haters. I really want him to dial in on this fight because it's fight week and understand the fact that, listen, a lot of people just simply don't believe in you. And you have to prove yourself come Saturday night legitimately, right? So hopefully he's just focused on what he needs to do with Canelo.
I fully agree. That's the central tension of this fight, the experience gap between them. Canelo Alvarez has been the top of this sport for, I don't know, maybe the full 10 years, right? 11 years since he fought Floyd Mayweather here in this building back in 2013, maybe even before that. He's got more knockouts, twice as many knockouts almost
Right.
as Berlanga has pro fights. Andre Berto, you've seen the highest lights. You
Yeah.
fought Floyd Mayweather in 2015.
Sure.
It does not get any bigger. What is the difference that Team Berlanga is going to have to navigate between any old regular fight and when you come to Vegas and you fight the best in the world?
The difference is you have to prepare yourself mentally more than anything. Like I said, when I was getting ready to fight Floyd, of course, I've known him since I've been 16 years old. I've seen all his tapes. I knew every bit of his punch patterns. I knew what he was probably going to bring to the table, but I had to mentally get ready for the circus that I knew he was going to bring with him to that fight. The crowd, the media, the people in general. I believe that's what Berlanga has to continue to stay dialed in on. Of course, he's already been training for the last, 8 to 9 weeks to prepare for Canelo. Now it's the mental game now. He has to be ready for the mental circus that comes with it, as well as his opponent.
Andre Durrell, you mentioned he's maybe focusing a little bit too much on the haters, but that does seem to be one of the themes that people say, hey, look, this young kid's got a lot of promise. We like the 16-fight first-round knockout streak, which is nothing to look down upon. But the whole idea that people say, man, maybe you're not ready for this level. How should he navigate this on a fight this big during the week?
He's never been a part of an atmosphere this big, right? He's seen this atmosphere, but he's never been a part of this atmosphere. So who knows what his mind is going through right now. I believe he needs to just simply dial in on what he needs to do, focus on that alone, leave the haters alone. Don't worry about the haters. Don't worry about who got something to say about you. Worry about performing. That's it. That's all.
A lot for him to contend with in this fight, but he's also no chump. 22-0, knockout power along the way. So Andre Berto, maybe some of the critics have said, man, how is this going to look against Canelo? But what does this cat, in your mind, Berlanga, bring to the table that Canelo cannot take for granted come Saturday night?
I believe Berlanga has to step up to the plate early to try to get his respect from him. Of course, obviously he has some power. He went on a tremendous streak of just first-round knockouts. But he just can't look past a young fighter that's trying to make his mark to try to make history. You know what I mean? So I believe that Berlanga just has to come out strong and earn his respect early. Yeah, he needs to hit Canelo. He needs to stand firm and let Canelo know, I'm here to fight. I'm here to fight. That's what he needs to do. If he comes in there and he's very lackadaisical that he's in front of Canelo and just the crowd and everything of that nature, Canelo's going to get in there. He's going to play with him until he finishes him.
It's an interesting, though, if you take their words. And Andre Durrell, when you hear Berlanga's trainer, Mark Ferre, step to the podium and say, look, you can see the size difference between them. And we saw that. Berlanga's a young kid, big, a lot taller than Canelo. But he said it's not going to be about that size or necessarily the power. It almost seemed like he was telling us, if you read through the lines, that they might come out expected to box Canelo. Is that the right strategy in your eyes?
That could work for a minute, right? But it's going to come a time in that ring where he's going to have to bang it out. right? And then find his exit and continue to box, right? So play the game you want to play. Don't play the game Canelo try to set you up for. That's the mission. He's going to be in front of a hostile crowd, right? Hostile audience. He's going to be in the atmosphere he's never been a part of before, and he's going to have a lot to prove on top of that. So there's a lot of mental gymnastics going on in his head, right? When that bell rings, perform.
Well, let's talk about that performing. I mean, you performed and won a medal at the Athens Olympics. You've gone on the road before. You were in the Super 6 Classic, which brought the top fighters at 168 back in the day to the table. How do you deal with that when the crowd's booing you? When, like we talked about, the media saying, hey, good luck to you on Saturday, but we don't believe in you. Maybe the odds makers. How do you dial that in?
And I remember being in at a press conference with all the champions, Frotz, Kessler, Jermaine Taylor, and I remember asking myself, man, am I supposed to be here right now, right? Because at that moment, it hit me, right? And at that very moment, I knew as well, like, listen, regardless of how I feel, I'm here. So obviously I belong here. But first off, tell yourself you belong here, and then again, like I always say, focus on what needs to be what needs to be done. That's all. Right? If he can do that, if he can cancel out all of the noise and focus on what he needs to do and not the haters that's, going against him, you know what I'm saying? Then possibly he can get in there and he can give us a great performance, because that's all I'm expecting from him, a great performance.
I mean, when that crowd gets on you, and this will be a Canelo crowd, that is Las Vegas, this is his city. How do you bite down and block that out?
I mean, one thing my coach Verge used to always tell us, in the gym, getting ready for a huge fight, just going through training camp, he used to tell us, you have to make up your mind right now on what the outcome is going to be. Because it may go completely different from training camp on what we've been working on, but you need to make up your mind right now before you actually jump on that plane and go to that fight on what's going to happen. It doesn't matter what that man brings to the table. It doesn't matter if our game plan goes out the window. You have to make up your mind right now as a fighter on what the outcome is going to be. So that's the main thing. He needs to make up his mind right now on what's going to happen.
And some of that, like you mentioned, is earning that respect in the ring. That's certainly what Berlanga is going to have to do. Let's talk Canelo. It's a very easy conversation. One of the best fighters in the history of the sport. And at age 34, still getting his pound-for-pound flowers, still in possession, of course, of those 3 super middleweight world titles. Andre Durrell, there was maybe a narrative a couple years ago as Canelo slowing down. He would say, look, you may have seen me in the third Golovkin fight. You may have seen me lose to Bivol. Maybe that John Ryder fight didn't end when people thought it would, going the distance. He mentioned the injury. I thought when he came back against Jermell Charlo, when he came back against Munguia in the spring, it seemed like that narrative was gone. At 34, how prime is this version of Canelo in your eyes?
As prime as he needs to be, right? I believe he picked the perfect opponent to come back and potentially make some noise and put himself back on where he believes he belongs. Or he might just simply say, okay, yeah, I am getting a little up there in age, and forget the age. It's the competition that he's faced throughout the years, right? That does a toll on you as well. So forget the age, right? He picked a great opponent in Berlanga. Berlanga has a lot to prove, so he'll come prepared for sure, and that'll present a fight for Canelo. So Canelo still have a lot to show us, man. So I'm looking forward to how he performs. However, I do love how he's carrying himself in this press conference. He's pretty much telling us that he's not worried at all, right? So let's see what comes of that.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up. Andre Berto, when we've seen Canelo of late, he's standing on his business. He's basically saying, stop telling me who you want me to fight. Is it Crawford? Is it Benavidez? Is it whomever? I'm going to show you who I want to fight. The arenas are still going to fill up. Has he earned that in your eyes to take this demeanor at this point?
I believe so. He's a fighter that has 60-plus fights. He's fought, multiple world champions. Once you put yourself in that position of power, I'm beating everybody you put in front of me. I'm filling up the stadiums. We're always going to have that new, young, fresh fighter that you guys want us to fight. But now it's under my terms, and now I get to do whatever I want to do to it. So I believe he definitely has it. Yeah, he definitely has earned it, though.
What do you respect about what Canelo's done on a business branding sense and really just that ability to stay on top for so long?
Everything. Listen, boxing is a very difficult sport. Listen, you either kicking your own ass or your opponent is doing it for you.
That's a
Believe that, right? Like boxing isn't a
That's a
sport you
fact.
can take lightly. You always have to work. You have to put in the work in the gym. So again, you're beating your own ass or your opponent is doing it for you. This game is very unforgiving, and for Canelo to last as many years as he's done, he's been a executioner, and he's remained on top regardless of the losses that he's taken, and it shows his mental fortitude.
Yeah.
Sometimes when a fighter grows with age, you can get more efficient, you can evolve.
That's a fact.
Sometimes maybe you're not throwing as many punches, but look at Canelo, like a Tank Davis, one of the most efficient counter punchers in this game. When he does open up and hit you, it tends to change that momentum of the fight.
That's a fact.
Do you see Canelo Alvarez on Saturday playing that sniper role from the
Oh yeah, for sure. I believe he has enough reps in the game and just through his life. I mean, like he understands, what's in front of him. He's seen every type of style that's in front of him. Now he's getting a little older. He doesn't have to go crazy. He doesn't have to throw a million punches. He doesn't have to do too much to try to show himself. He's earned that right to really sit back, see what he's looking at, and pick his shots. And we've been seeing it throughout the last couple of years. He'll sit back, pick his shots, and he'll take these guys up out of here. There's a lot of experience on this belt right now.
But, fellas, and Andre Durrell, you hear things like Mexico versus Puerto Rico. It
Right.
tells you something. You go, I've been there. I've seen that before. They deliver the action.
That's a fact.
Does this inevitably turn into some of those fireworks come Saturday?
Now listen, Mexico
Hopefully.
right, Mexico versus Puerto Rico versus Mexico. Like, no offense, but one and the same for me, right? It seems like they all would get along, right? However, we got a rivalry here, Mexico versus Puerto Rico. One has to come out on top, and we can know or feel like we know who that is, but Berlanga might have a backing behind him to give him that energy to perform and wow us all. And that's what I'm looking forward to. Surprises, Berlanga.
I mean, look, he's never lost. He doesn't know how to lose.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, look, if I've been impressed with the biggest thing from Berlanga on this build is he hasn't backed down one bit, whether he's talking to the haters, Oscar, Caleb
right,
Plant, or Canelo Alvarez.
Caleb Plant,
It's
too.
the
Right.
unknown that can be the most dangerous.
Yeah.
What can Berlanga show us that we don't know about him on Saturday?
That's what we're going to have to see.
That's it.
Like I say, all the talking, all the facades of being tough is fine. We've been seeing it our whole careers. But once you make that walk to that ring by yourself and step inside that square circle, it's going to get real quick. So we're going to see if he's going to be able to step up to the plate.
Right.
It is a big weekend.
Gotta love it.
Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, PBC on Prime Video, pay-per-view. It's coming, folks. And another reminder for this big fight, we have teamed up here with DraftKings. And right now, all new customers to DraftKings who bet $5 will instantly receive $250 in bonus bets. That's $250. Put $5 down on the fight. Pick who you think's going to win. Is it going to be Canelo to continue the streak and this great career that he's built, or is it Upset City in Las Vegas? Either way, it's time to stay in on the action. Use your $250 in bonus bets. Build parlays, whatever is your flavor. It's going to happen on Saturday anyway. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Get ahead of it. New customers use our promo code FIGHTS, FIGHTS, and bet just $5 on any wager and get $250 back instantly. Can't beat that. Promo code FIGHTS. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook because, remember, the crown is yours. Gentlemen, to wrap up, speaking of that super middleweight crown, we're going to be here all week continuing to set the stage, whether it's Friday's weigh-in, Thursday's undercard press conference. But what do you need to see, Andre Berto, the rest of this week? Maybe that final face-off on Friday to let you know that Berlanga is here to win.
I need to see Berlanga bring that energy to the weigh-ins. I need to see him stand firm at Canelo and look at him right in the face and at least give us that energy that you're going to be here to fight come Saturday night. I need to see that. I need to see it.
Now, look, the fan of me, Andre Durrell, is going to say, man, maybe get a little touch,
Yeah.
little push.
Yeah,
Get a little
push him with
fire.
something. Push him with
I
something.
believe every push is
Just
worth
let him-
100,000
Yeah,
pay-per-view
yeah.
buys. What do you think about that?
Man, all energy is good energy, right? So, listen, I'm not looking forward to anything Berlanga shows me leading up to the fight, right? I'm looking forward to that ring walk,
Yeah.
right? And when they stand toe-to-toe in the middle of that ring and they looking each other eye to eye, I'm looking at that part. And if I see anything, that
Chink
ill
in the
confidence, chink in the armor that comes from Berlanga, then we would all know that he's been wearing the mask this whole time.
Woo, you guys know
Gotta
well
love
what
it,
that
gotta
walk is
love
all
it.
about. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for joining us. The final press conference is behind us. 3 more days until Saturday's PBC on Prime Video pay-per-view. For Brian Campbell, Andre Berto,
Fight time,
Andre
baby.
Durrell,
It's go time.
almost time to fight. We'll see you on Saturday night.